I guess it's not really an episode, it's just a talk. So, yeah, I feel like I had a lot to say before I turned this camera on, and now I'm just like a little bit in the dark about what I was gonna say. So let me shake it off. All right. So, in other words, I wanted to talk about a few things today. So one of my main topics is the world different? Like, are we living in a world that's worse than it was, or are we just noticing the things now because of the fact that, social media, um, everybody's pulling out their phones to record um, the release of files. um, yeah, so is the world worse off now? And I guess I don't mean in a sense of the whole world, I mean more so of the America, because I can't speak for other countries. But is America worse now than it was before? Because um, I guess what I'm thinking is, or my standpoint is, that it's always been that way. It's always been pretty bad. And the reason being is probably because there's always been evil, but nothing showing around it, nothing like really able to record it. Now we can record it. It seems like the world is more and more and more and more and more um like more messed up. But it's not messed up. It's just the fact that we all can record something. We can all see with our phones or go on our phones to see daily news or updates every day. So it's like, and then some things, and now with AI in the mix, it's like it's throwing us for a loop because we're thinking, I think it's keeping America in a more negative state, which is driving more people to be depressed, more people to be mentally ill. Um, so yeah, it's more of like a, like, I don't think the world, I don't think there was ever a spot where the world wasn't already messed up, or at least America. America was already messed up. I mean, think about just the way America started. It was already messed up. There was already evil, already disgustingness in America. So it's like the only reason that uh the only reason we seem to forget or seem to turn a blind eye to it is because we've been programmed that way. We've been programmed to constantly have these episodes of fear, episodes of scares, to the point where we no longer care about it. We just, okay, we get scared, we feel the fear, and then we end up pretty much going back to regular normal stuff again, like normal life again, like that didn't just happen. And it's not our fault. It's that, like I said, we're being programmed to do that. Um, and and in all honesty, it's probably human nature. Like, people think that people think that I guess people think that the wild is different than humanity. Like, they're two separate spots. But we're, in a sense, we are an animal in our own environment. In our own environment, living under our own little shell or whatever. But that doesn't mean that there's not predators or prey. So, yeah. I think I'm losing you guys. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm losing you guys. Let's move on. Let's move on. So, for instance, I think that I want to talk about, I guess, the Trumpsters and how their hypocrisy, like how there's hypocrisy in there, like everything they do, like everything their baseline is total hypocritical. So, for instance, I think let's start with the All Lives Matter. Or for one, let's start with the Bible. If you're gonna be pretty much rely or have a baseline of the Bible or rooted in the Bible, then why don't you treat people the way that the Bible says to treat people? Love thy neighbor and everything like that. So their neighbor is not supposed to be somebody shouldn't depend on if that person is a Democrat or not. It shouldn't depend on that. If you are a person that supports Trump but hates Democrats or liberals, then you're not following the conservative. I'm saying conservative because you're not really following that conservative lifestyle if you're conservative. And I'm not saying that every Republican is a conservative, but most conservatives follow the Bible and all that stuff like that. So if you do that, then you're supposed to love thy neighbor, which means love everybody pretty much. Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And they're just not doing that. They're rude, they're disgusting. I'm not trying to pick on them, but I'm just saying and liberals, the same for liberals could be the same way. If you're a Christian liberal, you shouldn't be treating Trumpsters in a way where they're not like your neighbor. I just think that this whole back and forth thing is another plot to keep us separated. And honestly, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it because another hypocrisy is the fact that Trumpsters follow somebody who would hurt children but want to be pro-life. You're pro-life for a child to come in this. You don't want a child to be aborted, but you'd rather the child be abused and turn a blind eye to abusers. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you turn a blind eye to an abuser? Like, why? Why? I really want anybody who supports Trump to really, really answer that question. If Trump abused children, which speculation, I know I'm not saying it's proven or anything, but he did hang out with somebody who was abusing children. So it's very likely he was in the mix of that, or, knew about it at least and didn't do anything about it, but yet saying that he's pro-life, right? So once again, you're following a man that would allow abuse to children But wouldn't want somebody to get an abortion to prevent children from being abused. I don't know. The point is, I'm not against pro-lifers. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them. I'm saying that in general, that the Trump movement is very pro-life. Most of them are pro-life or whatever. And they seem to have not realized that being pro-life means you don't want harm to come to children at all, right? So maybe you should just think about that when it comes to the president who was hanging out with Epstein, right? Yeah. Anyways, so moving on to, I guess, the next topic I want to talk about, which is the Black community. And I guess why we're targeted somehow, which is always going to be the case. I don't think there's ever going to be that freedom, that end of the road, the finally free type thing. And I'm only saying that because of the simple fact that you're always going to look different, and not in a bad way, in a good way, that you're always going to be different. You're always going to be different. And the fact of the matter is that when somebody sees difference, it makes them feel a certain way, I guess, inside or something like that. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like, let's say, like handicapped people or people who have disabilities, they're always going to be seen as different. They're not going to be seen as the same, or not the same, but they're not going to be considered like everyone else, pretty much. They have a disability. That's their disability. When it comes to blacks, it's you're black, you're different. You have to start understanding that that is what it is. I'm not saying that racism is good. I'm not saying that's a good thing that people should be racist. I'm saying that people should treat black people like black people, not treat them like not treat them like I don't know how to explain it. Like you can't go into a rich person's house and assume, I don't know what I'm saying. Like pretty much I'm just saying, like, in general, like, their culture is different. Our culture is different. Your culture is different. Everybody has different cultures. Like, and I'm not trying to be discriminatory either. I'm just saying in general, like, we all have different cultures. And there's no reason why you can't come onto my culture, but you have to learn about my culture if you're not from my culture. If that makes sense. So I think that we shouldn't be treating everybody the same. We should be treating everybody according to their culture or the culture they want to follow or whatever, or religion or whatever, whatnot. I think that would make the world a better place, honestly. Because, and then people, if you're willing to learn, you're not shut off. You're not saying, oh, he's different, I don't want nothing to do with him because he's different. Instead, say, he's different. I need to learn about him. He's different. Like I said, the same thing, this is where I'm going with this. The same thing with somebody with disabilities. You're not going to treat somebody with disabilities like they can go swimming. If they're in a chair, they can't go swimming. You have to take them out of, they have to get assisted swimming. So they have to get assisted swimming. They are going to need help swimming. So it's just the same way with certain people. Like people with mental illness need help. People with this need help with this. You learn about these things so that way each and everybody gets what they need. So why can't Black people get the same respect as other cultures? It's like our culture, it should be learned about. Our culture should be not stolen from us, not taken and then recreated or whatever. It should be learned. You should be able to learn something from us that we, we can teach you about the culture and you can learn about it. Like the other day, I think I seen something as far as somebody saying something about braiding. And this lady, it was a older white lady, and she was asking this girl in her comments why the braids like are apart from the hair. And she didn't understand what parting is for braids. She thought the braider had braided his hair, but the person who had their hair braided was in pain. They weren't. They weren't in pain. This is simply like and she asked about it, and it was like a learning moment to where she needed to pretty much learn about braiding. There's nothing wrong with you asking questions about the culture. There's nothing wrong with that. I think what's wrong with it is pointing at us, making us feel indifferent or making us feel different and shunning us out. We should all learn about each other's culture. I think that would make the world a better place, honestly. I really do. But anyway, I'm going to go because I'm going to go. Oh. Anyways, I have to call my brother back because he just called me. So I love you guys. Spread love. Think for yourself. Live free. Bye.